Welcome in to the channel, Tennessee Podcast. It is November the 24th, the year 2024.
Jeez, you didn't know.
In case you didn't know, Alabama, hey, we're getting close to not being 2024 anymore, my friend, so it'll
True.
change soon. It'll change soon, but
Who the hell knows what year it'll be?
Alabama loses to Oklahoma. Tennessee beats Alabama and Oklahoma. Tennessee beats Kentucky and Florida, who both defeated Ole Miss. Indiana gets destroyed by Ohio State. And the committee's brains are probably about to explode. Their pets' heads are falling off.
Mm-hmm.
It's pure chaos.
Feels like 07.
Chaos. Chaos. Tennessee rolls over Texas El Paso 56-0. Zip. Tennessee comes in this week as an 11.5-point favorite over Vandy. And this just dropped. Texas QB Quinn Ewers will undergo an MRI after getting hurt against Kentucky. So we will
As they go into this matchup against A&M,
yes,
which decides a lot.
it does decide a lot, but let's talk about it. Let's talk, my friend. Let's talk the chaos. Well, welcome in. I'm your host, Rainey, alongside my good friend, Austin Brown. Was this one of the craziest weeks of football that you've seen in a long time?
It was, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, every window had a little bit of something to it. First window, obviously, Florida taking down Lane. Oh, Lane. Oh, Lane Kiffin, man. That guy, he'll never get it. It's him and Ole Miss are a perfect match. That's what they are. Ole Miss is the program that likes to toy around with getting to the top, but never really does. And Lane Kiffin's a coach that likes to toy around with getting to the top, but he never really does. They're just so perfectly matched. This is what they'll always do. This is what they'll always be. Lane ain't ever winning shit. Ole Miss ain't ever winning shit. I hate to break it to those folks down there, because they got fancy helmets. All that, it's nice and all. The Grove's a cool place, but nope, you're not doing anything. You're just toying around. You might beat Bama. You might do something. You beat Georgia. But you know what? You're going to lose to, I don't know, Vandy or someone like that, or Kentucky or something crazy like that, or Florida.
Or Kentucky and Florida. So.
And LSU to throw to make that even funner. There's just always going to be them. I mean, Jackson Dart in this game, he isn't very good the whole time. And then in the last 3 minutes, he somehow throws 3 interceptions. I did not think that was possible, but it's possible. He was an absolute mess. It was clear the pressure got to him, and he was just, I mean, the swamp will make any player look horrible, to be fair, but it's beautiful. And that creaked the door open. We started gator chomping in Neyland. The arm might have had an aneurysm, but
imagine if DR would have gotten you on film doing the gator chomp. You would never have lived that down, Alligator Austin. You would have never lived it down.
Yes,
never have lived it down if DR got that footage of you doing the gator chomp. But it was funny.
I don't even know what it's based on. Yeah.
It was funny though, because they showed the score. They showed the score, but they also showed the interception by Jackson Dart, the last interception that kind of sealed the game for Florida over Ole Miss. And of course, Neyland erupted, and everyone started doing the gator chomp. I didn't do the gator chomp, but it was funny to watch everyone else do the gator chomp. Everyone around me, it was one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time from a fan base watching another game, because they weren't actually gator chopping; they were mocking it and laughing. They were mocking it, and it was really funny, because we did need Florida to beat Ole Miss. We needed a lot of things to happen yesterday, and guess what? Every single one of those things happened that needed to happen.
Just almost.
We just next week we take care of Vandy. There's no way we're not getting in, so we should be in this week. We're going to be in this week.
I don't want to just get in anymore. I want to host. I want to. Penn State, if they lost, I think we're in the hosting picture, and that almost happened. They were so close, because they always drop that game to Minnesota seemingly. But right now we're sitting here. I think we're at 9. I think that's where we are. I think Georgia. Well, I don't think they rematch Tennessee and Georgia. Do you think they send us back to Athens? I think they try to avoid that.
I have no idea what the committee does. Have you watched the committee all season?
Yeah, yeah, I know, but I'm just trying to take what they've given us so far and base that off of what they would do. I mean, it is completely ridiculous, but I don't think they'd send us back to Athens. So I think that we'd either go to, I think we'd go to Penn State. I think they would have them in the 8 slot and us in the 9. But what could change that? They're really racking my brain, which is not a good idea, uh, on how to shake this up. I think we need Texas to lose to A&M and or Notre Dame to lose to USC, and then we can maybe get in the hosting picture. But right now, I think we're the last team on the doorstep of hosting.
Yeah. Well, right now we should, if the committee doesn't put us in this week, and I could see them 1,000% trolling Tennessee and doing that just for attention, not putting us in, putting us.
Oh, it's impossible.
Then it's impossible. Like you can't
No, we're in.
not put us in. We're in. It was just you just got to take care of Vandy. Please, for the love of God, take care of Vandy. Don't pull one of those things where everything lines up, the stars have lined up, and you pull a choke job. So don't do that. Let's just go out there and beat them. I think we will. I think we're going to go out there and beat them. I think, of course, the majority of that stadium is going to be orange. But man, this week of college football, this year has been so different than any other year in college football, and it's amazing. This week's this entire week was just pure chaos and pure pandemonium. You could not ask for a more enjoy. Imagine being a college football fan that doesn't have really a dog in this fight, and you're just watching this unfold. You're just watching this chaos ensue. It's been Natty all day, every day chimes in. It's been a weird week for sure. It has. It's been a weird week for sure, and it's been an awesome week for sure because this college football season is just on crack.
Yeah, there's no doubt in that. Man, I still cannot believe. I told you. I told you on Friday that look out for that Oklahoma Bama game.
Mm-hmm.
Just look out for it. That's the one that can sneak up on you. Like I just think they wouldn't think much of it. They would think Oklahoma's terrible. It's nothing. Let's just go in there and beat them. And the thing about that is you just can't ever have that mindset on the road in the Southeastern Conference. You always have to have your head on a swivel. You always have to be ready for anything that can get thrown at you. You know why? Because this is the greatest conference in America. This is the toughest conference in the country. This is what makes it different from the Big Ten. The Big Ten, like go to a Michigan State, you'll see maybe 1 or 2 NFL players on that roster. And it'll be about 40,000 stands, and it's cold, and it's just lacking in energy in the air, Go to Oklahoma. You'll have 80,000 people in the stands screaming their head off, and NFL players on both sides of the field.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, this is one of the worst teams in the conference, right? Right? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Why is it so hard? Because they got NFL players, and it's a really tough place to play. And yeah, it's the Southeastern Conference, baby.
Mm-hmm.
This is what makes it. Auburn, same deal. And so on and so forth. It's what makes this conference a hellraiser, and why I can't stand that they want to look at the Big Ten and the ACC and say they're equal, because it's not true. It's just fucking not. Across the board, the talent's not there, the fans aren't there, everything's not there. It ain't the same, baby. It ain't the same. It ain't the same. You can't give me chopped liver and tell me it's filet mignon.
Where the hell did that come from? Did you practice that?
No.
Oh, that was funny. That was good. Natty all day John's back in. So is Indiana getting into the college football playoff with that schedule?
Yeah.
You think so? They got blown out. There's no way.
Here is my little wet dream, my friend. I want them in Neyland Stadium. That's what I want. I want that roster. I want that team that clearly wouldn't hold up couldn't hold up at all in Neyland Stadium. They are so gettable. They're so beatable. And it would just be such a fun day in Neyland. Oh my God, could you imagine December 21st? Indiana comes in, we go up 14-0 at half, and
Mm-hmm.
we just kind of carry that one out to like a 30 or a 28-17 victory, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it'd be a beautiful day, man. And then we go advance on. Oh, man, it's a fun world, man. The only key to all this is just beat Vandy for the love of God. For the love of God, just beat
Yeah.
Vandy. Every time I start dreaming, start getting myself daydreaming about what's gonna happen, what could unfold, I just get a little bit of reality, and I'm like, that Vandy game is it kind of has that weird flavor to it. We better just come out and handle our business because a lot of teams across the country are not, and I think that shows of how bad the pressure is in this playoff era. I think pressure is getting to teams.
You know what? Speaking of the Vandy game next week, and Tennessee goes to Nashville, noon kickoff in Nashville. Yeah, watching the game yesterday with Tennessee and watching the first quarter again, it was the most dreadful thing I've ever seen, and I don't understand why this team cannot just start off well. I do not understand. They start off well in Georgia, and then maybe we should just start off slow because anytime we start off well, we seem to collapse after that. But you cannot during that game yesterday, it was frustrating. But then Tennessee was sitting there talking to this guy next to me in my seat, and we were both just looking at each other saying the tight ends are wide open. There's no one covering the tight ends, and we never throw to them. And then all of a sudden we started throwing the tight ends. And what blew my mind even more, guess what we really started doing? Throwing the damn ball to the running backs. Guess what happened? We got a first down almost every time. Use the running backs. It opens up a new dynamic to this offense. I don't know, there's something with Josh Heupel where he just doesn't like to give the ball to his running backs in space. It blows me away. But finally, in that second half, he did it. He did it, and he went to the tight ends, and the offense looked crisp, smooth, clean. It looked good. The tight ends would go right down the seam and just kind of stop, turn around, be wide open. It was a good looking offense, and we had 0 points in the first quarter, ended up scoring 56. But I think that was a biggest main reason that we scored that many, because we went to the running backs and the tight ends, something that just seems so difficult for this offense to do. And we finally did it. And one other thing I want to touch on, Peyton Lewis is a freaking monster.
Mm-hmm.
Is a freaking monster. That guy is going to be so good.
Oh yeah,
he's going to
puts
be
on even more weight.
So good.
I mean, look at
He looked
the right
really
kind of
good.
weight.
Yes, he looked good.
He's going to be a monster, man. We are so stacked with talent, and we get to take this roster into the playoffs. And it was a mess in the first quarter, and I'll be honest, a lot of it's on Nico. He missed a lot of passes, threw a lot of bad passes, and didn't have good pocket awareness. I do wonder if there was some hangover from the Georgia game still there. I'm not gonna use that as an excuse, but
I don't think
know, maybe
any hangover, because we do this almost every game. We can't score in the first quarter, and we've got to come out against Vandy and run the same type of stuff you did. Here's what I don't understand. And okay, I'm just being critical right now because it's my team and I want to win this bad. So I'm going to go with the things that really stuck out to me that kills me when we play good teams. When we play a team that is less talented than us, you're going to beat them. Why do we run stuff we never run? And it works. But then we play a good team and we go away from that. Yesterday, I've never seen so many blitzes in my life. Where was that against Georgia? Why don't we do that consistently? If we did that consistently, this team would be unstoppable. It's almost like Tim Banks just picks and chooses when he wants to do it, and it's kind of annoying. I want to play like that against every team, because when we play like that, it's very difficult to beat us.
Oh yeah. It's I do wonder if it's a bit of like trying to put stuff on film or stuff like that, or just testing things out because we know we can, and they view it as a practice. But and when they get in the real game, they get their cheeks tighten up and just get don't
Well,
want to don't want
you
to don't
can't
want to don't want to mess up. So they run stuff they're comfortable running.
you can't say that to, like to put this on a film, man. It's like we're at game 11 now. Like you can't game 10 or 11. Like you can't. Like I told you last week, it is what it is. But it's like you've said to me since a couple weeks ago. Every week, this offense seems to get a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
They show some things that were different. Nico needs to get better. That's the dead honest truth. Needs to get better. The play calling, for the love of God, needs to get better. Josh Heupel and his crew need to really tighten up and just trust him. Trust Nico. Like I get it, he throws some bad passes, but you can't sit there and tell me that he can't make some of those throws that Gaston Moore was making in that game a couple weeks ago. But it's just like, come on. So, but anyways, we roll into Vandy. We'll talk about that here in a little bit as we get towards the end of the podcast. But Austin, let's talk about Alabama. Let's talk about that because I hate them. I hate their fans. I hate everything about them. And my greatest joy today is being on Twitter and watching all the Alabama fans bitch about the officials.
About one call when they were down by 3 touchdowns in the second half, which if they got that, it might have been a slightly bad call, whatever. But even they got that score, they still would have lost.
Yeah, I mean it was a really bad call, but I think it was a right call in my opinion. I don't know. It's a pretty good call in my opinion.
Yeah.
Alabama fans. I hope you cry, and I hope you cry for the rest of this week. I hope you cry. Alabama hasn't lost 3 games since like 2000 and it's like 7 or 8. Nick Saban,
I think it's 10.
2010. Yeah, it's like 2010. They haven't lost 3 games before. Yeah, and it's just so fun to watch them melt down. You pieces of garbage. You
Milroe is not a good quarterback.
No.
It is stunning. Like I told people from the start, man, this guy is, he's got a lot of ability. These legs, he can run like no other, man. But
Kennedy chimed in and says, "I want to thank Austin. He said my Gators would beat Ole Miss."
Yeah.
Did you? I think we both said that.
It was the biggest pick across the board. I mean, anyone knows. Don't ever think you're winning in the swamp. Just don't. Okay, it's not a place where it's a really hard place to win. It's a really hard place to win unless it's like early and you're not really a priority or something.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna win the swamp, you have to have like a game where they're not paying attention that much.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. You got like your name's Kentucky or something.
Yeah, but but going back to the Alabama talk, I want to talk more about this because it's so fun to watch this fan base melt to the ground. Bitch, complain, moan. You deserve it. You deserve every bit of this crap that is coming your way. And I love it because you have Kale on the board in there. You have reporters saying Alabama hasn't skipped a beat. It's almost better than when Nick Saban was here. No, the Alabama looked completely lost, completely out of left field. They didn't know where the hell they were at. It seems like every play that they ran, Oklahoma seemed like they had 15 guys on the field on defense. Alabama got stuffed almost every play, and they bitch slapped them all over the field, kind of like Tennessee did when Tennessee played them. They kind of bitch slapped them all over the field. I love it. Go to hell, Alabama. Go to hell.
We heard that Kalen DeBoer was going to come in here and revolutionize Bama with his offense. That he's an offensive guru, which I mean probably is a pretty good offensive coach, but he's gonna take everyone by storm, kind of like Heupel did in 22. Well,
no.
What the hell? Nope, they did not. They did not. Oh, it was beautiful. Oh, it was so hilarious because it just kept getting worse. They never really had a silver lining moment. They never had a, oh, well, okay, let's see where this goes kind of moment. It was just interception. And they were bad picks. Holy crap, they were bad.
Yes.
Some of those were awful. Like, it was just like there was nothing you could have seen there, and you weren't under that much pressure. It was hilariously bad. Oh, it's so beautiful. I said didn't I tell you Bama's not gonna be that good this year. They were not that good last year. Nick Saban ran from this team.
Oh,
Nick
he did.
Saban ran from this team. He got that
He
team
did.
to the playoff, and it was a freaking miracle. That was not a good team last year, and he got him to the playoff. He got him a play
Mhm.
away from the national championship where he probably would have won. I mean, it was honestly one of the most remarkable coaching jobs I've ever seen in my life. What he did with Alabama last year, and then he retires because he kind of sees the writing on the wall, and these players are demanding a lot of money, and he kind of hates everybody. So he's like, "Ah, screw this! I'm gonna go sit next to Herb Street and have some fun there." Um, and then Kalen DeBoer walks in, fresh off a national title appearance, fresh off, having winning across all sectors of his career. He walks in Alabama. He's got good parts across. I mean, technically, it's the most talented roster in college football. I mean, based on recruiting rankings, it is the most talented across the board. A lot of them in the portal, and it is year one. I'll give him that. I will give him that little bit of grace. It is year one,
Nope, he
but
sucks.
at the
Nope,
same
he
time,
sucks.
it's Alabama, and you have all the talent in the world, and you're losing to Oklahoma, who couldn't breathe on the glass window, and it's it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful that everything has to fall apart. And you know what's crazy? They ranked them 7
Mhm.
last week,
Mhm.
despite the fact that they had bad losses, two horrible. I mean, one horrible and one lost to us on their resume, and didn't really have anything else other than a win over Georgia. Which God knows, how does Kirby still lose to them no matter what? I don't understand that. But well, like I said, the playing on the road in the SEC is really tough. Um, yeah, it was beautiful, man. It was just
Yeah, it was,
beautiful.
it was, it was beautiful.
They didn't even score a touchdown.
I know that's just even crazier. They scored 0 touchdowns. They scored 0 touchdowns. The Oklahoma defense completely shut them down and completely just manhandled anything that they were doing. And I just watching before the game, the Alabama fans like, oh man, we're about to storm into Norman. Like, buddy, that's awesome. But where are y'all at today? Y'all just like their fans are the most stupid people on earth. They really are. They're the dumbest people I've ever met in my
They're
entire
just
life.
they're casuals. They haven't had to go through the wars we have had to go through. They haven't had to be humbled as much as we have. Like
They're
when you get
spoiled.
humbled, when you get punched in the face continually, you get smart. You start thinking like a guy who's been through battle. Kind of gets to he kind of knows what's going to happen. Like you get to prepare yourself for the worst. And like Texas A&M fans, they're handling this way better than Alabama fans are. They've seen some shit, you
Uh-huh.
know.
Yeah.
Like this is not new for them. Hell, they actually still have a path to playoff if they can beat old fake UT, hmm, which I think
Oh,
they will, and get real UT a better playoff spot. Do you think? Okay, they're trying to decide who's hosting and who's not. They got 2 loss Texas after a pretty bad loss to A&M and a loss to Bama or a loss to Georgia, and they got Tennessee. Our resume has a win over Alabama. They have no key wins on their entire resume. I wonder how they weigh those because I think we should get the bump above them if we blow out Vandy.
you talking about Texas?
Yeah, assuming if they end the season with 2 losses and we do too, and their best win is at Vandy,
Is that Vandy?
and
Yeah. Their schedule when the season first started, I believe that we went through all the teams um and their schedules and who they play. And we got to Texas and we said Texas is going to win a lot of games this season because they don't play anybody. They don't play Tennessee. They don't play Florida. They don't play Alabama. They played Alabama. Do they play
no,
Alabama?
they didn't play Florida,
Yeah,
or
they didn't play.
they played Florida.
Yeah,
They didn't play Bama. Yeah,
Texas played Florida.
yeah, they beat them 45. Florida started the third stringer.
Okay, yeah, that's right. But like they didn't have to play like Tennessee and Ole Miss and teams like that. They didn't have to play nobody like that on their schedule. So like yeah, Vandy was their best win. So I mean, you got a kind of a point there of when you're looking at it. But to me, this committee has been all over the place. It seems like they value the name of the brand more than they value anything else. It's insane.
Absolutely.
It's insane to watch. It's like the whole Notre Dame thing. Listen, could you imagine if Tennessee had lost to Northern Illinois? Could you imagine that? That committee would have us not even. We lost like Northern Illinois, and then we like lose to Georgia or something like that. Like, this committee would have us so far outside looking in. It'd be ridiculous. But Notre Dame is. I do not understand what the fascination with this freaking team is. We do this every single season with this stupid team. They could win 4 games and then come in the following season as a top 25, top 15 team. It makes no sense at all. Like, this fascination with Notre Dame is just beyond me. It makes no sense to me. You don't play anyone ever.
I actually have more of a problem with the love they're giving Penn State. That pisses me off even more because at least Notre Dame, in some of their wins, they do look really impressive. They have looked really solid, and they do have they got a win in College Station, and
I'm just talking about year in and year out. Notre Dame, but it's old. Like, stop.
Across the board, Penn State, I don't get it. I just do not get it. They don't have one key win. They played one game worth a damn, and they lost it. And then they beat a bunch of nobodies, and yet they are somehow so much superior than our resume. And they said that before. They said that after that we beat Bama. They said after we beat Bama, before we lost to Georgia, that we were less than them because I don't know. I guess preseason rankings, I don't know. I mean, I just don't get how you get rewarded for playing absolutely no one. And you should have lost to Minnesota yesterday. You toyed around with a team we would have beat by 2 touchdowns, and it's just infuriating because I know we would beat Penn State on a neutral field. I know we would. And yet, if they have 2 losses, which I guess they're gonna only have 1 loss no matter what, but because they're playing Maryland next week, and Maryland couldn't, play dead in the Western. It's just frustrating. And Indiana, my God, this is my whole point earlier. Like, there's no. There are good teams in the Big Ten, but there's not good depth. They got a good top and nothing.
They're top heavy.
They're so top heavy. They're less than they used to be. I'll give them that. USC, that's actually a roster. That's a team that could actually give you a little trouble. And like it's like that. That's a team where they're in the bottom, but they could actually be dangerous. Kind of like how Auburn is. Kind of like how Arkansas can be. You know what's funny about the SEC? Every one of our like bottom feeders had their time in the sun for like one day. Arkansas got to take us down. Kentucky got to take Ole Miss down. Florida got to take Ole Miss down too. LSU got to take Ole Miss down. Yeah, maybe Ole Miss ain't that good. Vandy got to take Bama down. OU got to take Bama down. Auburn got to take A&M down. Poor Mississippi State. They're just throwing nothing on their plate.
Well, they got the Egg Bowl coming up, so that's going to be Ole Miss is probably going to kill them.
Imagine they beat Ole Miss, and everything else in the world falls in place where Ole Miss would have got in with 3 losses.
It's freaking wild, man. Like, this has been such a freaking. It's been fun. It's been fun, and it's just. And I told you, and I told everyone else because I kept getting the Tennessee has to win out. They can't lose to Georgia. They got to win out. And I kept saying, no, they don't, because this season has been so chaotic. Someone's going to lose. And I've said here time and time again, said that someone is going to lose. And yesterday, a lot of people lost. It was the most chaotic week of football I've seen in a very, very long time. Alabama, there's no chance in hell. I wouldn't put it past the committee. No chance in hell Alabama is getting back in with 3 losses. No chance. They still give them like a 25% chance to get in. Get out of here.
What?
Get out of here with that crap. Get out of here.
Well, I wouldn't put it past them. That's why I
wouldn't either. I wouldn't either. It's crazy.
That might be accurate because name on the freaking front of the name on the program.
It's crazy. It's this committee is. You can't have a committee full of people that work for the schools.
No,
you just can't. that are involved with the schools that are being ranked. Like it's just crazy. Because you're saying like a win over they were saying last week a win over Michigan was amazing, and then you have Ole Miss losing to Kentucky, but the loss that Tennessee had against Arkansas was somehow far worse. Like it was just so nutty. It's so nutty. It's wild to watch and listen to. But yeah, Tennessee, they control their own destiny now. There's no doubt about that.
Were you impressed with Ohio State or just underwhelmed with Indiana more?
I think Ohio State isn't a team that is going to put up 60, 65 points anymore. They seem to be controlling the game more in all of their games compared to previous seasons. It's kind of like Tennessee almost.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee is controlling their games rather than scoring and blowing out their opponents. But I feel like also people bring up the NIL, how it's like ruining college football, but I don't think it's ruining college football. In a sense, it hurts recruiting and people leaving for more money. I get that. But you're seeing in the NIL level out the playing field. There's not going to be another dominant team. I think the dominant days of teams are over. I don't think there's just going to be a 5 to 6 year period where there's like this one team dominates. I think the NIL has kind of set a foundation of every team is going to have a lot of good players if they pay enough money. And you're seeing that around the country. It's just it's fun to watch. It's making parody. It's almost like the NFL. Like you got pissed off at the beginning of the season because you're like, oh, it's just turning into the NFL. It is. And it's fun because there's good players on every team. It's not just one player with all the top players in the country stacked on one roster. It is sprinkled in on every roster. There's an NFL, like you were just saying a little while ago, Austin. There's an NFL player there's NFL players on Oklahoma. There's NFL players on Alabama. There's NFL players, like they're NFL guys sprinkled in throughout the whole league. It's not just a one team domination effect like it used to be.
Yeah, I mean you're right when you're right. That it's just there's more depth to this league now. It's just I think the thing it really removed. I'm not sure if like the middle of the pack is that much better. I think they're still like the middle of the pack, but it made sure the top layer isn't as dominant. Like it removed their safety blankets. It removed that like that guy who was there 3 years and never got to play, but you put him in the third quarter and he's fresh as a daisy. It took that out. And that guy's now a left tackle at Missouri or something. It's removed that, and it did make the middle of the pack a little bit better, but it more or less the biggest thing about it is it removed the super depth that they used to have in the top ranks with the Bamas and the Georgias and the Ohio States. It's really it's healthy. It's healthy for the sport though. It is healthy because you shouldn't have that. I mean, you can have a really good team. You can. I mean, if you build it right and whatnot, but you shouldn't be able to just stack upon stack upon stack. I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, yeah, if I'm a Bama fan, if I'm a Georgia fan, I'm saying this is horrible for the sport. I hate this. This is wrong. This is everything we're against and yada yada. There is some morals to that, I guess. But here's the long and short of it. Suck a dick. We that was not fun for a lot of us. A lot of us didn't have fun losing 56-3 because you guys just had NFL teams everywhere. We find this more entertaining, and you wonder like the leaders of college football. They seem like they have no idea what they're doing, and they might not have any idea what they're doing. They may have just stumbled into this. But maybe they did have an idea what they were doing with the transfer portal and designing a playoff. Because what ended up coming about was a product that is very entertaining on every Saturday. You get less dominant teams, less murder ball, and more like just fun stuff. And you had to get Saban out of here. Saban being there, I mean, was the only thing keeping Bama somewhat together. And here's the thing: Saban at his age did not want to go have to beg all his donors to keep his roster together. That is not what he wanted to do. And he left. He went out the door, and he let the younger guys just deal with all that hoopla.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are dealing with hoopla. And as David Sanders takes a visit to Ohio State, and it's a very frustrating age in a lot of ways as a fan because you don't feel like you can just be safe ever. You feel like you always have to be like head on a swivel with your best recruits where they're going. It feels like there's less like trust, and I don't think that's good. But also the product is really fun to watch, and it's really helped that. And the product, college football wasn't broken. College football definitely was not broken. I'll never say that. I hate that narrative that NFL fans want to throw out there, like, oh, this is NFL so much better because yada yada yada. I don't buy that, but I will say this is really fun,
Yeah.
and I
Okay.
don't think we'll ever get sick of it.
Okay. I'm going to go with something that you said early in the year, and I strongly disagree with you. And I told you it's going to be like this. And and you just agreed with what I said. You were so against the 12-team playoff because you were like, Alabama and those teams, they're always going to get in now. No, it causes more chaos. Every team, you have a target on your back every single week for the 12-team playoff. When there was 4 teams, it's stupid because you're going to have the same 4 teams every other year in the 14 playoffs. You're going to have the Ohio States. You're going to have those type of teams in there every single season. But now that
Do you
there's 12 teams, it is way more chaotic because going back to what we just said, you're sprinkling in with the NIL all these players on all these different teams. It makes it a lot of fun to watch just the insane nature of all the games because looking at this season, you don't know what's going to happen week to week, and you used to know what's going to happen week to week. You have no clue anymore. It's hard to bet on college football now. It's like
hold
betting on
on?
NFL.
Do you so you believe that if we had a 14 playoff just this season and everything else is the same except we have a 14 playoff, you don't believe it would have been as chaotic? You don't think Florida's beating Ole Miss? Or
No, well, it'll be chaotic, but Ole Miss is not going to be up there at number 4. Is what I'm saying. Now Ole Miss is going to get probably knocked out of the playoff picture now, and insert Tennessee back in there. It's chaotic because Ole Miss loses to Florida. They were already at whether number 6, number 7? Where were they at? Where
they were
was
at
where was
I think it was
so
9, I think.
so it's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. But now that they're at number 9, and if Florida goes in there and beats Ole Miss like they did, they beat them. If it's a 14 playoff, they're already out. It doesn't really matter. You have 2 losses. They're probably not going to put 2-loss Ole Miss in the playoffs, even if you beat Florida. But Florida beats Ole Miss, it knocks them out of the 12-team playoff because they really didn't have a shot at all to get to the 14 playoff at all. So
Here's what my point back then was, and I stand by it. And something changed that I didn't foresee. I just did not see the reason I hated a 12-team playoff, or I didn't want it at the time, was because I just thought Georgia and Bama were just going to keep being dominant and have those rosters still. I didn't see the drop off that they would have this year.
mm-hmm.
Like they are so human right now. It's unreal. And I don't think that's because of the playoff. I think that would have been that way regardless. And the top 4 would just be a mess. I guess Texas would be our like golden goose team. We'd just be like, oh, that's our only shot at the playoff, I guess. Um, but I think the playoff being introduced and the transfer portal taking and NIL taking away from these dominant rosters is what has made this so much fun.
Yeah.
And I didn't foresee Bama and Georgia being this human. I thought Georgia would be a juggernaut just like they always were, but they are so gettable on any Saturday.
See, I think it's the other way around. I think everyone else, like you say, Georgia, Alabama
No.
is now human.
Yeah.
They've always been human.
No.
everyone else has been kids. They haven't had the
No.
rosters. Like they've always been human. Everyone is just now at an even playing field, and everyone's human now. Like they've always been human. They've always been beatable. People could beat them. Alabama would lose a game every season. Like they're beatable. But now that field is even.
That's what I'm saying.
And they've always, yeah, okay. They've always been like that. They've always been as good as they are right now with the rosters they have right now. But everyone else has just as good of a roster, if not the same. You know what I mean?
Oh no. I think Bama got brought down. That's what I think.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
Bama and Georgia got brought down. I don't think we elevated to their level. I think we brought them down to our level.
I don't think it dropped down. I think everyone caught up.
No.
You don't think so? You don't
I
think
think I think 22 Georgia would come in here and just beat the shit out of everyone.
Okay, so if the NIL wasn't a thing and Tennessee didn't land Nico, what's going on? Where's Nico going? If the money's not involved, where's he going? He ain't coming to Tennessee. Tell you that right now. Like
maybe USC or something.
I'm talking about like
Oregon.
a big name recruit. They're not coming here. They're going to a powerhouse program to get their name on the map to go to the NFL. Now it's not like that. It's, hey, Tennessee's pretty good university. They got good everything. They're offering a lot of money. I'm going to go there. Alabama's offering just a little bit less. I'm not going to go there. Like it's
my thing is you can't.
I get what you're saying though.
I think we did get brought up a little bit. I think a little bit we did get brought up, but I also think the biggest part was Bama being brought down, and Bama and Georgia not just being able to stack talent upon talent upon talent. That's I think the biggest part of this whole thing.
Well, Alabama and Georgia still has some of the top recruiting classes in the country right now. So it's but that's what I'm saying though. So it's you have the top recruiting classes, but everyone else is way closer to you than they've ever been before. You used to blow everybody out of the water, and now it's not like that no more. I think everybody's caught up. I don't think they've really gone down that much. I think everyone else is just kind of, hey, we're about the same place you are right now when we used to not be. So
no, I maybe I'm trying.
I'm so confused right now.
No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It's been brought up. I think that's part of it. I think that is part of it. But I still side that I think the biggest part because if you transported those old Bama, those old Georgia teams down here, I feel like they'd kick ass. Because I heard someone say the other day that 22 Georgia, someone from FanDuel said that 22 Georgia will be favored by 14 points over every team in the field right now.
They're pretty good. I ain't gonna lie about that. But they also had a walk-on at quarterback. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's pretty wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
A walk-on at quarterback. Stetson Bennett. So it's a wild thing.
King of the Gaston Moore fan club right here. His wet dream of Gaston Moore. Those 38 passing yards against Mississippi State just did some wonders for my friend.
No, I did not say that. I didn't say Gaston Moore is like the greatest thing ever. I'm saying that why can't the Tennessee play calling be like it is when Gaston Moore is out there? Because he's not making insane throws. Like I said, the pass to the tight end who kind of did a slant route, he broke off of a block and stunted into the middle on like a little slant. It was Ethan Davis. And it was a play that we haven't ran all season. And it was one of the easiest throws ever. And so my main take was, why can't Nico do that? It's not a very hard play. And I haven't seen that play the entire season. Then Gaston Moore comes in and they run it. So that's what I mean when I say with the whole Nico thing, let the kid play. I was talking to the guy next to me, and when you look around the country and you see a scrambling quarterback, Nico will get in the pocket, and it's almost like he is told not to run. He'll get in the pocket, he'll stand up tall, look for wide receiver. Look for wide receiver, look for wide receiver. And then he'll just get sacked or try to scramble and get sacked. When other scrambling quarterbacks in the country, stuff breaks down, they take off. They go around and they take off. I don't understand why it's in Nico's head to where it's like, hey, don't run, don't do it. What are you smirking about?
Your take is always the coaches are in his head. That's
Dude,
always been.
then
No,
what
it's your
else
take
is
in
it?
basketball. It's your take in football. It's your take in
What
baseball.
else is it? Rick Barnes is not in their head anymore, like in basketball. You're seeing these people just take shot after shot after shot in the Rick Barnes offense. For years and years and years, it was so
Well, why were they
scripted.
in? Why weren't they in Hooker's head?
I'm just saying, when you have a quarterback in Nico that played against Iowa, that played against all these teams at the beginning of the season, and he was just nailing every pass he threw. Every pass. Iowa, take off running. He had 3 rushing touchdowns. He wasn't thinking, he just did it.
You only
Something
because
has to
you
be
only
in
know
his
it's because
brain.
there was a bunch of slow white guys and then he elevated the playing field a bunch of NFL players and
You're telling me you're
he's
telling me
starting to get his ass beat and
you're
he's
telling me
starting to want to run less.
you're telling me UTEP ain't a bunch of slow guys? Come
He
on
ran
now.
he had like a 70-yard run against UTEP.
He had a long run. But what I'm saying is you look at it from earlier on in his career, it's completely changed with the way he plays. And you can say whatever you want, but that's
I mean,
coaching,
I
man.
haven't
That
seen
is
a
coaching.
consistent. This is the first time I've really seen him play in a season. I can't take what I saw in the Iowa game and take that verbatim. Like
It's
I
not
could,
it's not the Iowa game. It's like the first 3 games
okay,
of this season.
I can't take Iowa, Chattanooga, NC State, and Kent State and take that like, oh, I didn't see that against Alabama. What the hell? I mean, you're playing like a bunch of guys that can play on Sunday versus the guys that are gonna be doing what I'm doing. I mean, it's a big jump. It's a big jump. I'm just saying, like he might be not one because they're gonna knock his head off if he tries it. That
No,
could be the difference right there.
I don't know.
Um,
I just think that there's something that is telling him not to do the things that he's really good at. That's just my opinion.
that'd be a
I could
bad
be
idea.
I could be completely wrong.
That'd
Hey,
be a
man,
terrible idea.
you are so fast. You can scramble your ass off. But what I want you to do before you scramble is make sure you have read every read possible on this field. That's what happened to him yesterday. I'm sitting there my seats are in Y10. I'm looking straight directly at him on the 10-yard line. And he hikes the ball. He gets in the pocket and bounces around on his feet, and looking. No one's open. Go. But what happened? He got sacked because he stood there. He used to not do that, is what I'm saying.
Well,
Like, I don't understand why he does that now when he used to not do that at all. That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't know. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. And so what I mean by that is to kind of like with the future of where we're going. Because if we beat Vandy, we're in the playoffs. I don't know. Maybe Josh Heupel is saving him. No, he's not. He's not. Because you could have done that against Georgia, and you really didn't. He did. He did actually kind of run against Georgia a little bit. He did when it broke down. He ran. So when it gets to the point of the playoffs, he's got to use his legs because
Mhm.
that opens up an entire different dynamic of the entire offense. Just
I
like him
agree.
throwing to the running back, just like him throwing to the tight end, and on Saturday's game against UTEP, we couldn't do jack crap against UTEP, and then they started doing stuff different, and it worked. It's almost like Nico was. I don't know. I feel like he thinks a lot because, and I don't understand why,
He's
because
young.
it's
He's
it's such
young.
a
I think he's young. I think
it's
that's a
just
big part of it.
it's a quarterback friendly offense is what I'm saying. It's just
Yeah, it is.
it's weird. It's weird to me, man. It's weird, and I'm not being like negative or anything. I'm just saying like that's what I'm watching. Is he was once
To
one
be
way and now he's not that way anymore? Is
to be
just
fair, I want to be fair. You look across college football, there's a lot of bad QB play. There's a
mm-hmm.
lot of bad.
he,
It's not like he's
he's
the only guy struggling.
no, he's not bad though. He's not bad. He makes plays. He'll have his bad moments, which
But
every quarterback.
he's struggling at times.
Yeah, of course. I mean that, like you said, there's no legit dominant QB play in college football right now at all.
Plus, you're getting Dylan Gabriel, and he even has his
Yes,
bad days.
I'm not saying. And here's one thing. I think with our fan base right now, I think a lot of people are really being way too critical of him. It's I don't understand. Listen, I get he was an $8 million 5-star quarterback, but like what you just said, he's young. He's super young. You go from high school to college, it's a completely different speed. You go from college to the pros, it's a complete different speed. Let me look at the pros. You see rookies come in there and be terrible, and 5 years later, they're amazing. They're great.
Yeah.
So I think this fan base needs to just take a step back with the Nico slander, because I think if it's happening at this time next year, yes, it's warranted. Do what you want, say what you want. It is warranted. But right now, it's really not. Like, he's not playing terrible. Like, people act like he is horrible. He's not. He's just simply not. He makes plays. And we're 10 and we've lost 2 games. We're 9-2.
He's grown up a lot this year. I will say
He
every week out, he gets a little bit better, and take that man to a playoff and he might flourish. I don't know. It could happen. Anything's possible. That's what I love about this. Is what is so fun about the season. It's all on the table. It is. It's all on the table. You're on Tennessee's best day. They can beat legitimately every team in the country on the neutral field. There is not a team you'll find out there that they have no shot against, even on the best day. And that's a beautiful thing, man. This is a beautiful thing. This is so much fun. This is a lot of fun. I was wrong. I will say I was wrong. This is better than what it was like before. I didn't think the college football needed to be like the NFL. I didn't think it needed that. We lost a little bit of our charm. I'm not gonna lie. We lost a little bit of the charm we had of the sport. But this is really fun. This is a lot of fun. Like I saw a tweet from the Cheez It Bowl account yesterday. It said, man, it seems like a lot of people want to play in our game.
Yeah. That's pretty funny because, like, everyone's just beating the crap out of each other, so it's like really funny to watch. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's been a wild season. We get Austin back here.
I'm gone.
There you go. No, you were frozen up for a little bit. But you said the Cheez It Bowl thing is really funny because everyone's wanting to play in their bowl because they're just beating the crap out of each other one by one.
Yeah. Listen to Arkansas. It doesn't even look that bad now. Like we lost to Arkansas. Happens.
No, I know, but
happens.
What's crazy is every fan base out there that has any just terrible argument about Tennessee not making the playoffs. You lost to Arkansas. So we lost to
Kentucky, buddy.
We lost to Arkansas at night in Fayetteville. Ask any player. I'm pretty sure. Oh my gosh, wide receiver Joey Kent. I'm pretty sure he's on the radio not that long ago during Arkansas week and saying, like, dude, that is a really tough spot to play in. It was one of the wide receivers. I don't know if it was Joey Kent or it was one of those guys. And he said, dude, that place is brutal to play in. So he's saying it's mainly Alabama fans. Oh, you lost to Kentucky. Well, you lost to Vanderbilt in a day game with 90% of the stadium as your fans. You can't tell me that's like, you lost to Arkansas.
Well, I will say though, let's beat Vandy before we trash talk that too much.
No,
we got it. Dude, I will tell you though, G-Man had a tweet earlier today. We're not blowing out Vandy.
No one else.
Expect a miserable game. Expect a down to the just a slugfest, and just you're gonna be miserable the entire time. But at the end, you're probably gonna win.
Yeah,
that's how it's gonna go. We're gonna win. We're gonna win that shit. I don't know, 2016. At least expect that. Don't expect to blow their heads off. Because if we did blow their heads off, it'd be freaking awesome. But don't go with that expectation.
I think it'd be more 31 to 24-ish, 23-ish. I think we're gonna score more. We're gonna score more than 20. I think so.
Make sure you're throwing that. I think. I've been disappointed before.
Real quick, also ask this question, and I'll be right back. Between you say you have Alabama losing, Ole Miss losing, and Indiana losing, Where do they fall in the rankings? Discuss that real quick, and I'll be right back.
I mean, Alabama's out. That's where they are. A 3-loss team with you know, two of their losses are unranked. They they went well. If they beat Auburn, they'll go undefeated at home. But the 3 losses, they're gone. Indiana, uh, well, a blowout from Ohio State. I thought before all that they got kicked out, but because of all the other stuff that happened, Florida beating Ole Miss and Bama, I think they're going to stay, and I think they might be at 10. I kind of have it at 10. I think actually SMU gets that 11 slot. I think it'll be this is my projection for this week. It'd be 1 Oregon, 2 Texas, 3 Ohio. No, 1 Oregon. This is in the bracket, not like the rankings that they show after. This is in the bracket. I have number 1 Oregon, number 2 Texas, number 3 Miami, number 4 Boise State, and then 5 the first at large slot. I put Ohio State. 6 I'd put Notre Dame, and this is not my projection. This is what I think theirs will be. 6 Notre Dame, 7 Penn State, 8 Georgia, 9 Tennessee, 10 Indiana, 11 SMU, and I Arizona State, I guess, would be the Big 12.
These last spots are hard.
Yeah. Well, the Big 12 in general, have you looked at the conference standings? It is a train wreck upon train wrecks. And the rule is, yeah. Honestly, Tulane, I don't know what they're ranked right now. If they go undefeated and they win, they could might. Here's the rule. I actually had to look this up last night to be sure. This is how the playoff slots work. The top 4 who get buys, those are the 4 highest ranked conference champions. Okay? So right now that would be assuming the leaders win. It'd be Oregon, Texas, Miami, or in the 4th slot would be Boise State. Not from the Big 12. It'd be Boise in that slot. And then the 5th highest ranked conference champion is guaranteed a spot in, and they'll go wherever they're ranked, or they'll be at 12, which if in case they're below 12 in the rankings. And right now, I think it would work out where number 12 be Arizona State, because the Big 12, it's a train wreck right now. There's about, I think, 9 teams currently in play for the Big 12 championship game, which is absolutely insane. And with 1 week to go, it's crazy. Man, college football. I mean, I talk about, man, Dion and them. They couldn't. I mean, they were playing 4-6 Kansas, who just beat BYU and has shown some life lately. And they let up 37 points, man. They BYU or Kansas just ran it down their throats, and it was in Arrowhead. That's kind of cool.
That was why was it an Arrowhead? Was it kind of like a
Lawrence is only Lawrence is only 30 minutes away, and you get more fans in there.
Here's the thing about Colorado and Dion. I know Dion just got the number 1 quarterback in the country, 5-star guy, to come to Colorado. But what happens next season when Dion does not have Travis Hunter and Dion does not have Shedeur Sanders? What's going to happen? Because there's no way that team is going to. No way. It's a 2-man show out there. I mean, they got their wide receivers. They got a pretty good wide receiving core, but those 2 are gone. What's happening there? Because Dion, right when he got there, gutted the whole team like a dumbass.
Well, he's going to do what he does. He did again, I think. He's going to go hit the portal for all he can get. It's like he's at a flea market and
but the portal last time was the people he brought from Jackson State, which were his 5-star guys. Then he got to go to Jackson State. He's not going to be able to bring people with him like he did the first go around with Hunter and Shedeur. He's just not. So there's no 5-star guys in the portal, really. There are, but no just headhunters, game changers like Hunter and Shedeur.
He's just gonna take all the scraps, I guess, and try and build what he can. Like guys like the guys on 5, the guys who were kind of been disappointing on good teams and are
Mm-hmm.
going to hit the portal. I mean, he scored a touchdown yesterday for us, but Cam Seldon, he is probably going to hit the portal, and he
Yeah.
could be one of those players Dion picks up. And JUCO guys, maybe you're gonna. I mean, he's built up a little bit of a foundation. I mean, not a foundation, but a little bit of something that he can build upon.
Yeah, I guess, but I feel like his foundation is those two players.
Got Jordan Seaton.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
We'll
right, that
see.
was fun. It was a fun Saturday, man.
It was, man. But yeah, it was a good podcast, man. I enjoyed this one. A
This is fun.
lot of chaos. A lot of crazy bastards. A lot of chaos. But Austin, we'll do it again.
Yes, sir.
Like always, my friend. Tennessee is in the driver's seat. Do not crash. Do not crash.
Beat Vandy. Just beat Vandy.
Keep driving. Do not crash, please.
Please just don't lose to Vandy.
Please don't.
I will. No, don't lose to Vandy. Please, please, love God, don't lose to Vandy.
I don't think players like Brew McCoy and them guys are going to allow that to happen, but we'll see. All right. Been fun. Been great. Have a good rest of your afternoon, fellas. Good night. Go Vols. God bless. We'll do it again next week. Peace out.